So, lots of things for school board members to think about as they do that work. We have been spending a lot of time working with districts all around the country on what does it mean to do deeper learning as opposed to factual recall and procedure regurgitation. What does it mean to give kids more agency over their own learning work so that they drive their own learning rather than us driving it as systems or as teachers? How do we make those real world connections to the learning that we want our students to have so they find meaning and relevance in what we ask them to do? And often how do we use technology as a powerful lever to make that work happen? We're finding that kids can do deeper learning work and have more agency and make that work more authentic with technology than they can without. So we're having lots of interesting conversations around the country and around the world with board members and superintendents and other educators and community members. Big challenges for boards, I think. One are, sort of mindset work. How do we help educators and community members and parents and students understand that it's a brand new world out there, that we have lots of new challenges, right? I think more and more districts are realizing that we don't just need students and graduates who can recall facts and procedures, but who can actually be critical thinkers and problem solvers, who can be excellent communicators and collaborators. But designing schools for that work is very different. A school that's designed for factual recall and procedure regurgitation is very different from a school that's designed to prepare critical thinkers and problem solvers. So how do we start shifting schools in new directions? How do board members, help with that mindset work and the belief system work about why those shifts are important, why we need to move in those directions, how they work in hand with central office personnel and parents and community members to do that. The second big challenge for board members, I think, is investments in capacity building. What kind of new learning and skill sets do our educators need to do this kind of work? If we say we want different kinds of graduates, we have to have different kinds of educators who can facilitate different kinds of learning tasks. So how do we make that work happen? And how do we find ways to invest in our very professional educators' ability to do different kinds of work? And I think, a third big challenge for board members is really more on the policy level, which is around sort of how do we have conversations with legislators at both the state level and the national level around standardized tests and, how do we capture this kind of powerful, robust learning that we want if our assessments aren't geared to do that? If we're so content driven, how do we create opportunities for ourselves to do more of that skill development work and so on? And so sort of this ongoing conversation about what are we really looking for from students and systems, our present accountability systems and mandates don't necessarily align very well with this more robust learning work that we're looking for. So lots of challenges ahead. I know that I was up for it, and whatever I can do to help, please let me know. Thanks.